This is an integral part of your human performance and error prevention journey. Tasks we undertake have the potential to pose a risk to the health and safety of ourselves and those around us if we don't control them. Through the rigorous application of critical task analysis, we can apply robust controls to those activities where, if a failure were to occur, the outcome or severity could easily result in a significant injury or loss. When carrying out these critical tasks, it's essential we identify, manage, and control all hazards and risks and focus on error traps and the error prevention tools to further mitigate risks and enable tasks to be completed in a safe and productive manner. Critical tasks are work activities which meet specific criteria when carried out in the following areas: rider-operated mobile work equipment, lifting operations, braking containment, working at height and on, near or over water, working in confined spaces, live testing, pressure testing, and working in hot thermal environments. Each task is covered by standalone standards and expectations training modules which follow this introduction, and these may be accessed through the training portal. When carrying out any activity which meets the critical task criteria, the objective is always safe delivery with the task completed in a well-planned, predictable and safe manner. This is achieved through focusing on error prevention to minimize the possibility of undesired effects. Everyone must take personal responsibility, be aware and vigilant in everything they do, recognize error-likely situations, avoid them using error prevention tools, and consider not just themselves, but those around them. All critical tasks must be carried out by trained and competent persons and must follow the site-safe system of work procedures. All critical tasks must be appropriately planned, organised, risk assessed and supervised and actively monitored through to completion. We all have to deal with hazardous situations in our everyday lives, so let's look at an example. When using the underground, we all understand the risks and we behave accordingly, standing clear of the platform edge as the train approaches. We know the error traps and the consequences of ignoring them. But we're also reliant on the actions and behaviours of others. Even in the busiest periods where space is limited on the platform, everyone in the vicinity and moving around the station corridors, escalators and platforms understands the risks and behaves accordingly. Everyone knows they are in an error-likely situation and they understand the error traps. And when we board a train, we all know to mind the gap. The gap is where the hazard lies, and if we choose to ignore it, then severe consequences can ensue. When carrying out any critical task, be aware and take personal responsibility for your own safety and the safety of those around you. When planning a task, mind the gap between work as planned and work as done. Speak up if you're concerned or if you see something which isn't quite right. Everyone involved must have completed the critical task standards and expectations awareness training specific to the task. They must have the necessary competence and information to plan the task, assess the risk effectively, and apply the controls required to ensure safe completion. Everyone involved in the critical task will have designated responsibilities and must understand what they are and how to discharge them safely. Everyone has the right to stop the job at any time if new hazards arise, if things change, or if they're simply unsure of anything. Before any task commences, the supervisor must identify the critical task activity. A mandatory task-specific risk assessment will be carried out in line with the relevant standing instruction. Before commencing a critical task, the supervisor and work party shall take part in a pre-job brief, during which the supervisor will complete the relevant parts of the Take 5. The work party shall then complete the Take 5 prior to commencing work. Once the task has commenced, a reassessment of risk through a Take 5 can be called at any time by anyone involved in the task. The supervisor then acknowledges the completion of the Take 5 during routine active monitoring. Everyone involved in a critical task must have a focus to zero mindset, focusing on zero accidents and incidents. And finally, the critical task processes you're about to engage with are fully supported by Doosan leadership and management, combined with a culture where everyone has a voice and has an opinion which is valued.